but this is our review of what went on at Marvel Stadium last night with Essendon holding on in a thriller for Toolkit Depot. Toolkit Depot's tax time sale is on now. What was your first thoughts?
I thought the Bomber ball movement early. was a feature. The first quarter, it's a dozen inside 50s for 6 goals. They come through a corridor. Yeah, and you can look at it two ways. You can look at it as a negative for the Kangaroos, or you can say, you know what, the Bombers saw a vulnerability and they went after it. So good planning, good execution, and they're just their star factor players. Like Zach Merritt, I don't know how many times I have to talk about Zach Merritt.
Last quarter. Gee whiz.
Oh, his last quarter, we were talking about it in the commentary. I haven't heard yours, which is a shame, but I don't get to hear it, unfortunately. I do mean that, because sometimes you just want to hear a different opinion on the same game, and I just thought that he needed to be tagged. Star of the last, I said, okay. And Craig Jennings rings through, he talks about the Pareto principle. 80% of games are won by 20% of the players. So when it's in the balance, take away their 20% if you can. So Merritt was always going to be the one. I think he had 11 touches in the last.
He did.
And just settled them. So look, in the end, it's a really good win for them. Gee, it got wobbly. It got very wobbly.
Got really wobbly. With the Merritt tag, I guess they probably thought, I think they had 18 entries in the third term, North, and absolutely dominant from stoppage. So I guess they thought, well, if we can sort of replicate that time in forward half, that field position, and continually put this Essendon defence under pressure, and you had Zurha and Larkey starting to look threatening, then we're going to back our guys in to get it done. I'm always for, put some attention into the best players, and Merritt was the obvious one there. But, gee, the game flipped. 16 entries for a half of football, which was the third lowest for the year for North Melbourne. They had 18 in the third term, and it was off the back of Sherry and his dominance. Clearly, was it 10 clearances in the end? Maybe 9? 10. Yeah. 25.
He was unreal, wasn't he?
Poor old Goldie. But do you get disappointed with from the winning position that they were in?
Yeah.
Like they were exhausted, the Bombers. They had one fit player on the bench, I think, for the majority of the last term. They had all of the momentum. There's no doubt about that. But then an opportunity as well. But then it's just another one that slips by. And okay, well, we were in it, but we didn't win.
Yeah, and that's their lot. I mean, you can just think like losers and start talking like losers and say, oh, yeah, better effort, really good guys, really good. No, you got to win those games.
Especially against the like-for-like teams.
Yeah.
Essendon is a like-for-like, maybe a few years behind North in terms of the rebuild. Against the like-for-like, that's where it really does the damage.
Yeah, I agree with that. And let's call a spade a spade. If Luke Davies-Uniacke could take the ball clean and get the ball from inside to outside, they'd probably win by 3 goals.
I had I had a disagreement with BT and Hodgie on this.
Last night in the game?
Yeah.
What about?
Right in the middle of the game.
Unlike you.
Well, it was when he coughed up the second handball, which led to an Essendon goal. Now, it's an unpressured handball. He had Simpkin on the inside, then the easy one to Larkey, and essentially North was scoring if that executed with that handball from Davies-Uniacke. I said, well, you put your hand up for 1.3. You've got to execute a simple handball under no pressure, because that has not only cost your team a goal, but they've gone back the other way, and you can't defend that. BT was thought the contract had nothing to do with it, and then Hodgie agreed with BT, and it was fine. It's just what happens. But we just saw it differently. But I think when you are the team's highest paid player or one of the highest paid players in the game, you are expected to execute a simple handball. And I think if you don't, and last week was an issue for him in that space as well, then I think the criticism is warranted there.
Yeah, I tend not to go to the money. I tend to go to the experience. So this is an experienced senior core player that drives that midfield. He should be the Kangaroos' best player. He should be. And we're talking about Paul Curtis being that right now. Like, the game is 250 opportunities of taking the ball from inside to out and then putting damage on the outside. If you can't take it inside out, I don't know what your function is.
Have a listen to this, Geordie, from the umpire in the goal square late in the game, who you don't often see it, but he changed his decision.
Constanti kicked it through. The whistle had gone free, kicked it on the wall. Oh, the Bombers can't believe it. Constanti kicked it.
Okay, I'm going to ball it up. I just got word.
That's the first time ever I've seen an umpire change his decision.
I'm going to ball it up.
Magnificently called from Hamish and BT there, and BT's right. It doesn't happen very often. So the thing that I was thinking,
Suck up to BT after your fight.
the thing that I was thinking is, I just got word, which is what the umpire said. He changed his decision now. It should have been an Essendon free kick. Clearly, if he was prepared to pay it to North Melbourne when he thought that Essendon had kicked it away, when he found out it was North that kicked it away, it should have been an Essendon free kick. So we all get that. But I thought that he has got word from somewhere outside of the ground. Someone in the Arc, which has been a story before, and we'll confirm that with Tom this morning, has alerted him to the fact that he made the wrong decision. Now, others have suggested, and this is probably what happened, that it was another umpire that has communicated with him that he saw the wrong thing. But I think the AFL need to clarify that. I just got word. What does that mean?
It was clarified on Fox last night
Word from where?
from another umpire.
Is that definitively confirmed from the AFL?
Yep.
But they've come out and said,
They haven't come out, but they have made contact, yeah.
yeah, I need a little bit more definitive
What do you mean?
information on that. Well, because it's been a topic before.
5:04 post game.
it's
Johnny
been-
Ralph. This is
no,
what
I saw
happened.
I saw Ralphie's tweet.
Not his tweet. His words.
Well, same thing.
Sat at the desk and he said,
he would have said
"This
the
is
same,
what happened."
He would have said the same thing that he tweeted.
Well, we can answer your problems. Just give us a yell.
Yeah,
at Fox.
I'm happy for Ralphie's word on it as well, but I'd rather the AFL.
It was via John Ralph from the AFL.
So the AFL are happy with that decision and happy with the communication to the umpire and how that
umpire to
transpired.
umpire. Yep. They're saying it
So
didn't
why didn't the other umpire say, "Hey mate, it's actually an Essendon free kick"?
That's a good question. You've got a lot of good questions today. I
Thanks.
can't answer that one.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what I can ask as an adjunct to that is Laura Kane was discussing umpiring with Gerard Waitley earlier in the week. A terrific interview with the G.
It was.
Have a listen to what she had to say about where they're at the moment.
It's been okay. We're pretty hard on ourselves, and we want the umpiring to be as good as it possibly can be. And I think our umpires are the first to tell us when they make a mistake. They don't want to make errors, and whilst we can have a look on review at many angles, we were talking about it before, many angles in slow-mo and the high definition cameras, it's not what they see, but it's still really important that they make the right decision.
You've called it, and I agree with you, the worst umpiring ever. So
Yeah.
you clearly disagree with that. What should she have said?
I think if you read between the lines, it's going okay means it's going shizen, and we're onto it.
Did you think about doing a Kate Roffey rejig
Well,
of the answers to those questions of what should have been said? Did you think about that?
Yeah, but I just didn't want to be the disrespectful pair of a Monday and Friday canning everyone. It did cross my mind because a lot of the answers were, if you keep accepting that these things are problems and then don't adjust, well, what are you doing? I mean, if you want, we can roll on to the next Laura K. I'm not sure whether
I just on that free kicks when you pay 52 in one game of football.
Too many?
Way too many. 52 free kicks last night.
But a lot of them were cough-up handballs that didn't make the fist.
There
I
were
thought they were
13 high tackles last night.
Yeah.
13, Hutto. 13 high tackles. There were, 12 holding the balls.
Yeah.
In what? 50.
You don't have a set number though, do you?
No, you don't. But when they are involving themselves in the game that often, you go, oh my God, what is going on? One umpire last night paid 11 to 3, 11 to Essendon, 3 to North Melbourne. Like that's a lot of free kicks going one way. Anyway, just the umpiring is better when they let the 50-50s go. And when you're not certain, don't blow your whistle. Last night, too many whistles were being blown.
Too many whistles.
Yep.
Too many whistleblowers.
52.
There was a moment I want to give a little shout out, right? Because I reckon we were really hard on Ben Mackay. Really hard. And there's time that's qualified.
I said this during the call as well.
Did you?
So we're agreeing.
Okay, well, there you go. I thought when he came off his man to charge forward and diffuse a problem, it's actually on screen right now, which was Cam Zerhart, was a goal-saving act at a pivotal moment in the game. He kicked the ball inside 50. You can see their set shot to the Bombers. It was middle second quarter. I just thought that was brilliant. We're hard on him when he fails or gets it wrong. So I just want to give him a little shout out for that.
How concerned are you now for the Bombers just with these injuries piling up? Like what they're going to do with poor old Goldie? It's just unfair to keep putting him out there, but there's nothing coming. There's no reinforcements there. We saw Harry Jones with just the horrific, looked to be an ankle dislocation. Medico's out there. How long is an ankle dislocation? I would think it's the majority of the year. Ridley is just a story now. Ridley is a big story with the soft tissue injuries that happen every year for him, unfortunately, on top of the others that they've got. It's going to be a challenge.
So I looked at this. Because I'm big on, and it goes, whenever you come up with something good in this industry, everyone sort of knocks it off a little bit. Health's your best player, right? It always has been, always will be.
Like the Sheezies.
Not like the Sheezies. That will go nowhere. And when you look at players used across the course, no one bats beyond 30. Right? You can bring a couple in, and you can move some magnets and develop some players across the season. But if you're playing your full list, you're having a stinker of a season, right? And look at the teams that have played the most and where they sit on the table right now. 34 players Melbourne, 33 players so far St Kilda Carlton, 32 West Coast, North Melbourne, Fremantle, Giants. And you go the other end of the scale. Gold Coast Suns have played only 28 players. Like that's why they're where they are. Collingwood, and you've talked about if they're healthy, they'll be fine. If they're not, they're in trouble. 29 players. So no one bats really beyond 30, 32 players with any meaningful depth because of the spend to the top half.
It's going to be a real challenge for the Bombers. Unfortunately, no one likes to see that. Not sure where our gavels have gone for in the gun. But it is that time. Last week, you had Skinny Sean Darcy.
Yeah, Skinny Sean, and it was just a so-so battle. He probably got the chocolates.
Their midfield was good, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, their midfield is very good.
Yeah.
There's the gavel right behind you there,
Is that the reason you tipped them to win the premiership?
Mate, and how are they going? Big game tonight. Big game tonight.
Huge game. You'll see that on live and free on Channel 7. Last week, I had the LA Clippers in the gun, which was just a different take. I thought, I'm getting myself into some trouble speaking about football and all the sensitive people involved in it. So let's go international for the Clippers. I think they're on today against the Nuggets. Must win or go home. In the gun is for Grays.com, Australia's leading online auction marketplace. Who's in the gun this week?
What about our partners? Gary and Tim had shit on me for being fat, and that's the reason the car got bogged during the week.
Right.
Up at Cobra and I thought, gee, that's a bit nasty,
I
isn't it?
didn't hear that.
No, neither did I. That's a little bit nasty.
It is a bit nasty and mean.
Isn't it?
Nasty and mean-spirited.
What's wrong with Gary and Tim?
Shout out to Luke Darcy.
How about I start picking on their flaws? I reckon there's a couple of obvious ones I could attack.
Like what?
I don't want to do it because we're better than that. We're better than that. We're teammates. But I'll tell you what, go again and find out. Go again and find out. Anyway, I digress. I would love to go there, but I'll digress.
Go there. Come on, this is Fireball. Go there.
Do it again, Bailey Humphrey. Do it again. A fantastic performance last week. 4 goals, 11 score involvements. A breakout game. This is the player that the Suns have been waiting for 2 years. They thought he was their Dustin Martin when Dimmer first got there. They set up the role for him. It didn't work last year. He's having a very good year, a sneaky good year. Do it again in a big game against the Lions. And I don't reckon there's a great matchup for him. I reckon they're a very good team, Brisbane, and very good back six. No Starcevic there. There's an opportunity for him to separate this game. So my in the gun, it's a semi-positive one. Do it again and be the reason the Suns get this year off to a flyer.
Positives in the gun. Not sure how I feel about that.
Well, it's do it again.
Semi-positive. No, it's good. It's a good angle. I was just on the magnificent AFL website and read the headline. If the Chad has been Damo's favourite player for 4 seasons, then and I was like, this is who's. So I was reading it, the headline, and I thought, who's written this?
No, where's that written?
Yeah, by Damien.
No, you can't write your own. What? Just do that. Explain that to me again.
So I saw the big bold headline.
Yeah.
If the Chad has been Damo's favourite player for 4 seasons, then sliding doors great. I read it every week, but I swear Damo writes sliding doors. But he's going to dangerous territory this morning. Dangerous. Now I didn't want to speak about your North Melbourne Footy Club. I'm done with it. But dangerous territory because he's been a critic of North.
He doesn't like North.
got-
I don't know
Well,
why he
no,
barracks
he's a
for
North.
him.
He's a North
No,
supporter.
he's not a
he
supporter.
is.
He's not. He's never been a supporter.
No, he is.
He's just a North bagger.
But he's gone hard this morning, which I admire the courage of Damo.
But don't call yourself a supporter. He hasn't shown one bit of support.
He's a supporter.
He hasn't shown one bit.
He wants the best for the club.
No, he does
He
not.
does. He's a frustrated North supporter.
When has he done one thing that makes you think he's a supporter?
So North are in the gun because the criticism is really strong on AFL.com and his sliding doors column. If you want to be really hard, North, here's the challenge for you because he's had some strong things to say in the past, so you can check that one out. So
What's he? Give us the juice.
yeah, so what? Blah, blah, blah. Yet again, they lost. This time against a team who finished the match with 3 injured players, had ample chances to win. Rinse, repeat, have said it before and need to say it again. Just too accepting of losing, clearly don't know how to win, rolled over off the field too, didn't even bother taking the Paul Curtis tackle case to the appeals tribunal.
Okay.
If your club is serious,
Yeah.
I expect Todd Vining to get up in front of the media and accuse Damo of bullying. Okay?
Yep.
All right.
I'll honour that
So
today.
in the gun.
I'll ring him now.
Now, Damo's right, of course.
With
but
what?
Has he?
What he said.
Yep.
Has he? Yeah.
Yep.
What he said. But in the gun is
Who
North.
does he really barrack for? It
No,
couldn't be
no,
North.
He does.
It couldn't be.
Kingy. He
No.
wants the best for the club.
He does not.
Grays.com, Australia's leading online auction marketplace. It is easy to buy and sell with Grays. We're going straight into, I don't think we're going straight into this. What's on your agenda?
Well, my agenda is the discussion around Laura Kane's interview with Gerard Whateley during the... No, he hasn't got it ready yet. Okay.
Oh, no. Now what do we do?
Gee whiz. Well, we go to the other one. I've
See,
got
this
a couple.
is what happened
I've got a couple.
when we mix up the segments and we go from in the gun to the agenda.
It's not a problem.
If in doubt, just should just play
It's-
your song again.
No. Adam Kingsley. I love what the club's... No. Just stop, Jordan.
Good
I'll
job.
get Nims back.
Honestly, he's having a best morning.
Listen.
Career best
You
this
two
morning.
are pissing me off today, all right? Adam Kingsley and the Giants release a lot of information with their post-game speeches, and I think they're terrific to let the fans inside, behind the Iron Curtain.
I agree. I love it.
And just show us a little bit of what it's like after a loss and what the conversation actually is. Let's have a listen to 40 seconds that they put to air earlier this week.
All right, pretty disappointing. The one thing I love about this group, though, the one thing I love, we play to the last minute. We don't give up. We don't get blown out. We don't wave the white flag and give up and let them put another 5 goals on us. That is really important. That's character. And so it's a really strong foundation to start from, but we've got a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of work to do. So let's not avoid it. Let's embrace it. Let's step in. Step into the work. But guess what? He can't do it by himself. He can't do it by himself, nor can he, nor can he, nor can you. Do it together. Do something about it.
I love that. That to me is what you want from your coach. Straighten it up after the game. We've got a lot of work to do. Need to do it together. You know, in essence, throwing your arms around them and giving them a clip at the same time. We're not good enough, and they're better than what they've been showing. I just think he's really honest with this
Yeah.
group. There's no fluff. There's no waffle. It's just bang.
And I think you're right, by the way. I think it's easy to release the good information, the good news stories, the debutantes, the social media clips that go viral. Harder to do it when things aren't going your way. So to step into it when you're challenged and you've had 2 really poor weeks and still release that, I think well done to the footy club who, as we know, do the social media stuff as good as anyone. You want to speak now? I think we're ready for Laura Kane.
You want me to go
Yeah,
again?
you go
You've had a
again.
big enough week, have you?
No.
Well, Laura Kane sat down with Gerard Whateley and she said some things that were, I think, worth discussing. And then Clarko backed over them after the game. So instead of having a set 3 weeks, it might be 2 or 1 to 3 weeks or 2 to 3 weeks.
That would be smart, yes.
That I like.
Yes.
I like the idea of that. And I think when you sit back and say, okay, well, if we're prepared to make these concessions at round 8, why don't they just come in at round 8? Why do we have to wait to the end of the year? There's not one person would be upset with the change. Maybe Paul Curtis might have, he might have an issue with it, but he wouldn't be disappointed that the game makes the change. And then Clarko touched on it after the game.
Just it doesn't make sense. And also doesn't make sense that the AFL come out and say, we might change that at the end of the year. doesn't help us. We're really disappointed with that. Really disappointed. Because really strong leadership would say, we understand it's wrong and we'll change it right now.
Pretty strong from Clarko.
He's right.
Yeah.
And the AFL have done it before.
So do it.
So poor old Ryan Mansell gets his adjudication changed at the start of the year. That wasn't a 3-match suspension in the preseason. Now it is. It's not the first time the AFL have changed rules on the run, mid-year, whenever. And we'll see it this weekend with the crackdown on the stand.
Yeah.
We'll see it. So he's absolutely right.
So the one with suspension, I think everyone would accept because we want to punish the player for making a significant mistake, not the fine line ones.
The AFL has conceded to Ross Lyon after the St Kilda coach branded the VFL tribunal a broken system. They've changed the Taru suspension from 4 to 6, which was 6 because of the 2 byes either side, back to 4. So it's okay to change that because Ross launched and
he was correct.
And well done. It was brilliant. It was compelling and he was absolutely correct and he got the result. You would think the same should be available.
Would anyone have a problem if they said that the Paul Curtis incident
he should be playing this week
is 1 to 3, depending on the severity and all the points of conjecture?
Let us know if you would have a problem with that. I certainly don't, and I think most fair-minded people wouldn't either.